So this tactic, right? I think it genuinely might be a bit broken. I don't think the match engine likes it. It means you can score so many goals. It's called the 4-2-1-3 overload. It's a version 2 of a tactic we released a while back now, but I think it might be even better. There's a download link as well involved in this video too. I'm going to show you how to use it and how to get the best out of it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you. Let's jump into it. And welcome back to the channel. My name is Clayts, and today we've got another tactics video for you. You guys seem to love these videos. There are so many of you asking for this as well in the United rebuild that we did, where we were using this here. It is the 4-2-1-3 overload version 2. That's right. It is actually a tactic we released not so long ago, a few months ago actually, I should say, and it's been tweaked so that it works post-patch since the winter update, where lots of people found their tactics, they weren't working anymore. This was not really one of those, but it's been made so much better with a few tweaks. I'm going to go through all of these positions. I'm going to show you how it's done in a few different saves as well as showing you every single one of these individual player instructions as well, because some of you I know are playing on Xbox, for example, and you can't go and download these, so you just want to copy them from the video. I will try to be as accommodating as I possibly can for you guys as well, and hopefully just show you how to get the best out of this, because there's a few things to know, like use a left-footed defender at left centre back, for example, if you want to get the best out of it. So I think we should get into it. Before jumping into the rest of today's video, a big thank you once again to Club for sponsoring today's video. I need your guys' help in Club, where I'm going to be creating my very own football club. I would like you guys to help me out by helping me design a team name and also coming up with things like the badges and the kits. What should we go for? Pretty much everything. I want your ideas. And as you can obviously see then, you can name and build your own stadium, pick a team mascot, and other cool things like that as well. So in the comments below, I'd like you to come up with a team name, stadium name, and a mascot for my new club, and I'll pick my favorite, and that will be the club that is created. I can't wait to see what you guys suggest, and I will pick the winner in one of my future videos. So let's start then with what prompted me to make this video and what prompted you guys to ask me to make this video. If you've watched the United rebuild, which is a video we did, the last video actually we brought out here, we took Manchester United in second season and we tried to go and win the league after signing a load of players, etc, as you do in a rebuild. And as you can see, after using today's tactic, we absolutely smashed that second season. We finished obviously top of the league. We were on 101 points, but most impressively, if I go to here, look, most impressively is that we scored 156 goals. We scored 13 goals against Brighton alone, 12 against Brentford. Look, we were smashing in the goals. We only conceded 37 as well, a goal difference of 119, winning 33, drawing 2 and losing 3 of them, losing to Villa, Wolves and West Ham there. Probably could have avoided those. I'll show you the results as well. There's been some absolutely bananas results in there too. But it's just, I think this is enough to show you how good this tactic can potentially be. Up on the screen now also a couple of other saves where we've tested this too. A Morecambe save where we've won the league, and some ones there that you can see from Sevilla. It's been successful across a few different leagues, a few different, you know, setups and contexts, as well as lower leagues, etc. with the Morecambe save. I think this, if you just plug it into your team now, it will probably be successful. However, there are a few things that I do want to talk you through to try and get the most out of it, to try and get the best out of your players, certain players in which roles, etc, which we'll get into in a second. Let me just also then show you the results that we had this season, because some of them were just unbelievable, really. Have a look at this. Look, we started off like an absolute house on fire. Look at this. From all the way from August up until, where is it? Here against Chelsea in December, we won every single game. Eventually, we did get a little bit tired and we dropped a few points in some games. Obviously, we still had a fantastic season, but just look at some of these results. 7-2 against Newcastle. There's a 4-0 against Manchester City away from home here. Players like Darwin Núñez is perfect for this tactic. We'll look at the players afterwards as well. 7-2, as I mentioned, 5-0 against West Ham, a 6-2 against Leicester. Just look at them here. All of these wins. A 7-0 against Wigan in the Carabao Cup. 4 3s. We did I mean, we concede some goals, but if you just look at this little spell here, between these games, between Middlesbrough all the way down to Kiev, we've won 5-0, 3-0, 4-0, 3-0, not even conceding a goal. Here you see a little bit of a slip up in the season, but I mean, in the grand context of things, I think this is okay. I think this was tiredness, but it's all the way in April, so I know if you have a big enough squad, you could probably manage this. If you have another, you know, maybe play it off with, just manage it basically. Expect this to happen. Straight after that, though, we did beat Brighton 9-1 and beat Barcelona 5-1. So it's not bad, is it? As you go through 6-0 against Bournemouth, and then up at the end, look, we won the Europa League with a 2-0 win against Real Madrid as well, which they're not a bad team, are they? Let's then, after showing you this, I think you've probably believed me when I say that it's a really good tactic. Let me talk you through then the tactic itself and the roles that are involved. Let's start with the tactical style, which is a custom style, which is called Overload on here. Of course, if you download this, this is already set up for you. But if you're copying it, or if you want to just tweak it for yourself, which lots of people like doing, then this is what you want to go with. We used an attacking mentality, which I think is probably the way to go. Obviously, though, if you're a team that's not expected to do so well in a season, you might want to bring this down, but sometimes attack is the best form of defense. And if you've got 4 strikers, which this tactic basically does, you're probably going to want to be on an attacking mentality, aren't you? Let's have a look at in possession then. If we go through fairly narrow attacking width, I'll try not to just read you everything here, maybe just point out the important things, because do you know what, you can see it for yourselves on the screen, you can look at it yourselves. Some of the important things though are obviously that it's a very extremely high tempo tactic. We play for the set pieces, you'll see how important set pieces are. I'll just point you towards this little figure here. Rafa Varane scored 24 goals from centre back, so yes, set pieces are important. Run at defence, work the ball into the box. Mixed crosses, I know it seems a bit weird with the meta, it kind of is. Big tall strikers seem to be the meta, don't they? But mixed crosses, you get enough good ones out of that. I found that to be the best setting for your crosses. And then if you go through some of these two, pass into space, play out of defense, etc, etc. If you are winning a game, time wasting is fine, obviously. If we move to in transition, then you can see that these are our setups here. We've got counter press and counter. It's very much in your face. It's very gegenpressy, this tactic here for sure. Distribute to the target forward is one of our options in distribute to player or area here. That's because we do have big, tall, strong strikers. Darwin Núñez is kind of the epitome of this. He's 6'2" and he's super fast. He's a very Clayts striker, as you guys, if you've been here a while, will know everything that I'm talking about in regards to that. Darwin Núñez is perfect in this middle striker role. We'll go through these roles again in a second, but that's why we are on this distribute to target man, and we take long kicks. It seems a bit anti-football, doesn't it? But with the 4 strikers at the top here, if I show you on here, these 4 strikers, even hitting it long, the defense, the AI defense doesn't know how to cope with it. There's so many of the players. If one of these players wins a flick on, often the middle striker, if they win a flick on, it will bring the other ones into play, and then there's just too many players forward, and you're going to score goals. You'll see that these two pressing forwards almost act like wingers, and they cross to each other, they head things in. You've got goals being scored by all of them. Look, Rashford ended up on 31, Son got 34, and Núñez on 46 in this season. Even players like Sancho, who I played up front, got 18 goals, and Hlozek coming off the bench, starting not many games but scoring 17 goals. Look, that's how effective this can be, even if you are kicking it long. And then finally, if we go to out of possession, you can see we're very much in your face, the much higher line of engagement. We've got so many players that far forward that actually playing like this, it just makes sense. You can nick that ball back quite nicely in there. We do use an offside trap, and we play with a higher defensive line. Not quite much higher, but just on higher is fine. Much, I suppose, if you really wanted to push it, you could you know, really take it to the nth degree and push this up. But I think this is a nice happy medium. And then tighter marking, prevent the goalkeeper distribution with this trigger press here. Look, much more often, and get stuck in. Don't be scared of get stuck in, although there are spells where we go through a lot of yellow cards, so just manage that maybe if you're winning a game. I've actually found it where we're winning a game, so I take get stuck in off, and we start to give away a lot of that game where we concede a few chances. So it is on there because it keeps players, it keeps you on the front foot maybe. I'm trying to explain it, but maybe not in the best way. But it means that we're really, well, we're getting stuck in, aren't we? You can also see that a lot of the players do have tackle harder on as well, so it's very Roy Keane in its approach. Moving through to the player instructions, then we start with a sweeper keeper in goal on supports, which David De Gea did pretty well this season. He did all right. He got himself a 7.1 average rating, played 58 games, so he did all right in that role there. I will click on every player so you can copy these if you need to, even if I don't mention specific instructions here. Wide, wing backs, I should say. The fullbacks here, Dumfries on the right hand side, you can see they are on support. So you want your fullbacks or your wing backs to be able to be good on the ball. You want to be able to give them the ball and they're going to use it, because actually they've got a lot to do down these wings, not just running with it, but actually coming inside a fair bit as well, even though these instructions don't really show that, except for the sit narrower here. Look, they do actually end up having the ball in the centre midfield positions fairly often, so you want good ball players here. What I will say too is, if you can get your set piece taker to be your left back, for some reason the engine absolutely loves this. I think of Marvin Plattenhart, who I've had before, and Alex Telles is the best example of this. If you can get your left back to be your set piece taker, you will be winning. It works. Look at Alex Telles this year, an 8.17 average rating. If I click on him, he got 15 assists in the league, 16 all competitions. He's unbelievably good. He didn't even play that many games. He had 19 games, because Luke Shaw's also really, really good. So if you can get your set piece taker to be your left back, I do recommend it. If we go to the middle defenders, then they are both ball playing defenders on defend. You can see that they do just have these instructions as well. Varane to this side, very, very similar between the two of them. And Varane and De Vrij are both pretty good in this case here. Varane, although he does prefer to, he doesn't have a side preference, by the way, I do suggest if you can get a left-footed left centre-back, it's probably the best way to go. However, Varane's good enough to kind of cope with it, and he isn't preferring to be on the right, so that's why Varane works. And as you've seen, look, Varane got 24 goals here. He is a beast. Then into the midfield two, you've got a box-to-box, which is Declan Rice for me. Really good. I'll show you the instructions there. He's probably the one player that won't get high average ratings. He's got just under a 7 average rating for me here. Look, this position's maybe just that one position. I've tried a centre mid on attack. I've tried a few things. Box-to-box is probably the best role, but don't expect massive ratings out of him, I'd say. Then next to him, you've got an advanced playmaker. Mateus Nunes has been great in that role, as well as some other players in this team here. You see the instructions there. In front of them, then, you've got your 4 strikers, or 1 attacking midfielder who is a shadow striker. You see the instructions. Then your 3 strikers. What I will say then for these 3 strikers, I'll click on them so you can see them too. They are marking specific positions. If I show you this, can I show you this easily in here? They are marking the centre backs on the other team. So your right striker is marking the left centre back. Your left striker over here, which is Son for me, is going to be, I clicked on the wrong thing, is marking the right centre back. So that's one thing to pay attention to here. If I show you Son's instructions too, there you see them. And then the middle striker isn't marking a specific position, but does have tackle harder, move into channels, as you can see. That's an advanced forward and 2 pressing forwards. Now, these pressing forwards, you want a tall, fast bloke in the middle, like Nunes, like Darwin Nunes here. You want a pacey right-hand striker, like Rashford. And then you want a player that's at least good on his left foot on this left-hand side, which is why I chose Heung-min Son, because he's either footed. So you want somebody who's decent on his left foot or is left-footed. They do cut in quite a lot, so an either footer is perfect here. Heung-min Son has been really good in that position. 7.35 average rating, look, 34 goals from wide, really. They kind of play like wingers. Those then are the positions and the instructions for everybody. You should now be ready to go and use this in your saves. There is a download link in the description, which you can go and click on. It will take you to Steam. You can then just click on subscribe and load it into your games. To do that, by the way, just a few people have asked me this. To load in a tactic, you just click here, you click load, and if you've subscribed on Steam, you should then have this as an option to load into your game. If you don't want to use Steam to do this, there is a direct download link, which you can then copy into your tactics folder, and the exact same way then you can load it into your game too. Go and have fun with this. Go and enjoy this, because it's so good. I will just show you really briefly as well. You will get this if you download the tactic as well. You will get all of these set pieces tactics as well, which there is a video I've made. It's kind of been tweaked, but everything is in there. I'll just show you the left and right corners here, because they are very important. You want your best header on near post still, but you will kind of want a decent one on this post here, which is lurk at near post. You want a decent one here, which is my 6'2" Darwin Nunes. Your best 3 headers of the ball want to be here. If you can get a left footer, or your left back, sorry, even an outswinger here, very effective. I think, though, we've covered everything there today. Hopefully, this is going to be really useful. We will leave it there. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, if you're going to use this, make sure you leave a like on the video, because it gets pushed out to other people too and helps me out. And, you know, that's how you can say thank you. Leave a like on the video. Let's aim for 300 likes on, and you know what, 500 likes on today's video. Let's aim high. Thank you so much for watching, though. If you enjoy this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll bring you future tactics like I mentioned in a previous video. I want to share anything that I use in game whether it be, you know, like a database file, I want to, or a tactic, whatever it might be. I want to share it with you guys so we can all be in this together and have fun together. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for more of that. Oh, also, before we go, I also need your suggestions for our name for club as well. So get those comments down below for club 2 so that I will choose the best name to be our name of our team. Thank you for watching today. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.